My name's Kiera. Just to chat about my background a little bit before we begin, I did my undergraduate degree in psychological and behavioural sciences at the University of Cambridge. Then I joined the dark side and did my master's in psychological research at the University of Oxford. So I know quite a bit about the interview process at both of these places, and I've been offering admissions consultancy and mock interviews for a couple of years now. But what's really important to me is making sure that the admissions process is sort of as fair and accessible to everyone. And yeah, I'm very aware that, admissions consulting and that kind of thing can be very expensive. So I just wanted to make an accessible video to share some of my tips with everyone. So I personally would split the interview preparation process into 3 stages. And stage number 1 is going to be your knowledge preparation. So I would use your personal statement as guidance for this, because obviously the subject areas you're going to be going into are hugely broad and they won't expect you to know everything about everything. So focus on the areas that you highlighted as interesting to you in your personal statement. I would highlight that journals are your best friends. So I didn't actually know really what a journal was when I was in 6th form. I don't know if that was just me being stupid. But yeah, I had no idea. And basically, journal articles are like the studies you might read about in your classes. They can also be critiques, reviews. They're basically academic papers that are chock full of really useful information, and it's a hell of a lot quicker than reading a book. Even better than that, all of these journals will have an abstract at the beginning, basically sums up the entire journal in just 200 to 300 words. So that's really quick to read. So my biggest tip, head to Google Scholar, type in a topic that you're very interested in, pick out a couple of journal articles. You can, there's a toggle at the top so you can make them present more recent articles first. And yeah, have a read of the abstract. If you find something extra interesting, have a read of the whole paper. The introduction especially is going to be really useful because it situates the paper within the wider field. So you're going to get lots of good background information there too. And yeah, as you go along, have a little notebook, make some bullet points about what each journal article is saying, and then have a think how you can apply what you have found out from this article to both your studies and what you know about the wider field. What is especially useful is if you can find a review, because this will summarise basically everything that's been said so far about a topic, and that is super helpful to you, and you can get a load of references, a load of information from that then you can pull out at the interview and show them that you've really done your reading, because as I'm sure you've all heard a million times, you need to go beyond what you're doing in the classroom. So my second part of your knowledge preparation is going to be doing your research into the department you're going into. So have a Google, have a look at labs in the department that focus on areas that, as I say, that you are especially interested in. See what recent papers they've published, and yeah, just go into the interview with that in-depth knowledge about what is being done at the university. You are also going to be sent ahead of time a list of who your interviewers are. And even if their area of research is not particularly what you're interested in, I would still really strongly advise looking them up and, doing a bit of reading around the field they're interested in. Although they won't expect you, as I say, to know everything about everything, you can use this as a way to kind of predict what questions they might ask you. So to use a psychology example, because that's what I know about here, if I saw that someone was very into computational neuroscience, I may anticipate that there are going to be some questions about the brain and, perhaps linking certain areas to others or looking at brain connectivity, that kind of thing, because that's what they're interested in, and it stands to reason that this might be something that they want to discuss in an interview. So the third and final step of your knowledge preparation is going to be your knowledge of current affairs in the field. Now for this, I would really strongly advise, if you don't already, make a Twitter and follow lots of notable academics, especially those in the university you're interviewing for. Now, academics love arguing, they love debating, and if you follow them on social media, it's just a really quick and easy cheat to kind of get an idea of what's going on in the field, you know, what debates are happening at the minute. So yeah, that is just my quick tips and tricks for your knowledge preparation. And I would probably want to do this, you know, a while before the interview so that it's not all just a last minute rush, you know, to come in heavy with the psychology here. Memories are best established with repetition over a long period of time. So as much as you may want to argue that you are fine cramming the night before, if you really want to, you know, go into the interview stress-free and knowing that you know your stuff, it's something you want to build up over a couple of months. The second stage of your preparation is going to be your practical preparation. And by this, I mean practice, practice, practice. You are going to want to do so many mock interviews until the idea of an interview doesn't faze you anymore. Now, this might not be what, you know, my sort of lower income or state school students want to hear, because I know, and trust me, I was there, you feel like you're going to be against all these students from a private school who have been, you know, doing mock interviews since they were like 11 years old, and that's an intimidating thought. But you can create your own resources. So perhaps if you go on LinkedIn, make some connections with people who are studying the course that you're going to be interviewing for. Ask them a few questions about how their interview went. Now, not everyone might have the time to reply to that, but I'm sure, you know, if you messaged enough people, some people definitely would. Also, perhaps ask at your school, did any of the teachers go to Oxford or Cambridge? Could they organise a mock interview with you? Perhaps there were some other students from your school who you could reach out to as well. So yeah, basically just create a network that you can utilise. And yeah, ask them about the type of questions they were asked. Ask them if they could run you through a few questions. And if that isn't working, there are definitely ways to find sort of cheaper services offering mock interviews and things like that. And, you know, I, for one, can say, like, if someone is struggling, they're really, really worried, they're not getting the practice they need and they think they're at a disadvantage, hit me up on my LinkedIn. I'll put the link down below and we can see what we can arrange in regards to that. I would be happy to coach some students. Okay, that is that on practice, and now we get to the final stage, which is you are sat, you know, in your college, you've got your nice overnight accommodation, and now all that's left is actually going into the interview room and doing it. So this is such a cliche, and I know it's impossible to force yourself to do in the moment, but I would say it's really important to relax and get into the right mindset. Now remember that this is an amazing opportunity for you to talk to some academics about a subject that you are really passionate about. It's a chance for you to ask them questions too. So go in with that positive attitude. See it as a really exciting experience. Treat it as a conversation between people who are passionate about the same thing. If you go in there nervous about being evaluated, that's going to come across. And I'm not going to say don't be nervous, because you're going to be nervous. Obviously you're going to be nervous. But if you, as I say, treat it like a conversation, you know, be friendly with them, ask them questions and engage with them, then you're going to get a lot more out of the interview. And I think you'll, you know, it's safe to say you'll perform better as well. So thank you so much for listening to this little video of mine. I really hope it was helpful to some of you. Please let me know what you think in the comments. I'm planning to make a couple more videos about the Oxbridge application process, maybe even life at Oxbridge, so let me know if you have any questions about that. Thank you.